I want to bring up two stories that I think are very pertinent to someone who, again, as someone who wants to be sustainable, someone who wants to live in freedoms, someone who thinks conservatively. I think that they both they bring attention to something that I think most people just miss. It's not really hitting news other than a few conservative news sites, but I think we need to talk about it today. One deals with your freedom, your 2A rights, and then the other deals with kind of the narrative they're pushing with the grid, what they're pushing with emissions issues. Let's jump into it today. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. You can tell I've been running, so excuse my sweatiness. Also, y'all haven't seen this, but this is actually where all those dead trees were. We had that drought come through and bugs get in our timber, which was a huge letdown. But if you look at a lot of our other videos where you saw all those pines that were just dead, this is that area. So we're just cleaning up. We're gonna make pasture out of it. That was the plan anyway. But we kept lambs there, sheep there, and our American guinea hog kind of worked that for us. But now it's becoming more pasture, so we've got to do some burns and clean up some of this other back area. So it's getting better. I hate to have that loss in my trees, but it's kind of one of those things we learn, that things we can't help, like we talk all the time on this channel, is that if we can't help it, then we learn from it and we learn to do better next time. So for us, we figure it's better for us to have cattle there or to have some kind of livestock than to replant timber, because timber has let us down pretty much here in South Mississippi. So anyways, I digress. Now let's talk about the video. If you're new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that's okay, but let us know what you think about the content of the video. Also comment below what you think on the stories. Now the first story I want to bring up is Colorado. Colorado House Democrats just passed a bill that bans all AR-15s and 9mm pistols with threaded barrels. Now, they say it like, well, with threaded barrels. It's kind of like with the bump stock not too long ago, with those few years back. They slowly and surely start getting it to where you can't do this, or you can't buy this, or you can't formulate like this certain, rifle that you're wanting. The more that they take off and they chip away at your rights, really, the less you notice it. It's kind of like this next one we're going to be talking about with Germany, and we're going to hit on it in just a second. But if they just came right out and said, we're going to take every form of Second Amendment rights away, we're going to take them away, people would be an uproar. But see, what they've done is say, well, we're going to take away the things that make them dangerous, like a pump stock. We're going to tell you, you can't own a automatic. No, you can't own a tank. Who would own a tank? You hear that, and they throw it so far out there that people are like, yeah, that makes sense. Well, like this, they'll say, well, the threaded barrels, it allows you to add, suppressions on it. It allows you to add silencers on there, and it can really be modified. And that's not what the whole plan of the Bear Arms means. You shouldn't have those freedoms. Well, should we or shouldn't we? Where does it say in the Constitution that we have to stipulate what that is, as in the freedoms that we're supposed to have? So in Colorado, if you're in Colorado or in these liberal areas, this is exactly what's going to happen. They're going to keep chipping away at your rights to where it's going to cost you. It's going to actually take away from your freedoms. And that kind of brings me up to this next story. German transport minister threatens with indefinite weekend driving bans to meet mandated emissions. So we set policy, and this is why I bring this up. This is Germany, I understand. But what Germany and Western Europe does, we end up doing as well. Same way. If we do something in America, they ended up doing over there. It's just like one big area split with the Atlantic. It's amazing. We fought a war to separate, and we're actually a little bit more like them than we're more like them than we've ever been. But Germany sets this and says, okay, we've made this laws where we have to take care of this climate and go green, but we're not doing that. We're failing there. So therefore, if you're not going to do your part now, we may have to ban you from driving on the weekends to conserve this emissions issues that your cars are causing. So what they're doing is, not only have they threatened taking away gas-powered cars, not only have they threatened, okay, we're going to lock you down because of sickness, now they're saying, well, on the weekends, if you're not using public transportation, we don't want you driving cars. Now, they came back and like, well, we're just saying that because, we got to make sure that we're protecting our environment. We're protecting the world, the earth. So what they do is like this Second Amendment right band in Colorado. It's kind of like, for instance, we keep letting millions upon millions upon millions of people coming into America. And so therefore there are 15 million people that's here. If we deport 8 million, you've done nothing. You still have 7 million here. Same way with this. If you say, well, look, we're keeping the rights to bear arms, we're just taking away this. This is too much. Yes, we believe that you can have a car. We're not going to take away your cars, but we don't believe you need to drive on the weekends because we need to conserve. The thing is, they want to give you just enough leash to feel like you have the freedoms, all the while they can grab you right back. We are literally enslaved more than we've ever been. We don't have the freedoms that you think you have. Think of the tax burden you have. We just passed tax day. Think of the tax burden you have when you talk about income tax, state tax, sales tax, gas tax, food tax. All these taxes you feel. The businesses that you're buying from, the taxes they're ensuving, the privilege tax, the property taxes, they're putting that into their cost of doing business, and therefore you're purchasing it. Think how much tax you actually pay. But it's just enough leash to make you think you have freedoms because you keep so much of it. I'm giving you a tax refund. Well, you should have never got a tax refund because you should have never been taxed all the money you were taxed. Do you get what I'm saying? We get credits from our children. We get credits from our house. So therefore we feel like, oh, well, I mean, this is how we save money. This is perfect. You feel like you have that freedom. It's always a bait and switch when it comes to our regulatory bodies. So going back to the Germany thing, if they said right now we're going to take away all your cars, you have to use public transportation or buy an EV, people would be up in arms. So they slowly and surely, they throw out the big thing, their main plan, knowing they're going to get pushback, to then negotiate it down to, well, why don't we just stop driving 1 day a week? Why don't we stop driving 2 days a week? I mean, let's do our part. Let's negotiate a little bit. Do you see how that works? The more they throw out, big hook, line, sinker. We have 15 million illegal immigrants here. I mean, look, we'll negotiate. We'll send back 7 million and keep 7 million because they're, dealing with DACA. They have children here. They have established lives here. Let's give them amnesty. That's exactly what's going to happen. Second Amendment. Oh, we allow you to hunt. We allow you to keep your rights to bear arms, especially for your safety. But you don't need those capacity magazines. You don't need that kind of suppressor. You don't need that kind of rifle. That's dangerous. That's a little too much. You don't need this much boxes of self-defense tools. Do you see that? You see, they just throw it all out there to say that they're not going to take your rights away, but they're going to start negotiating some of those freedoms away, chipping it down to where you believe you still have freedom, all the while they're taking more and more from you. Lastly, think about voting. Your right to vote is not really anything special anymore, because guess what? It's been over flooded with falsities. It's been over flooded with so many other people that has not gone through the same verification that you may have in your state. So does your vote count when there's millions more that's voting without ID? There's millions more voting through mail. There's millions more voting through harvesting. There was a sign at an NGO encampment in South America. That's one of the places that they go before they get to when they get to the Darien Gap and start heading up to America to just cross illegally. And on there it had, vote for Biden. Remember what Biden's done for you. How can these people vote, huh? It doesn't matter. So your vote may be pretty much canceled because there's millions more voting that probably didn't have the rights to actually do that. So that's my thoughts for today. I feel like we think we have more freedom than we actually do. And all the while what they're doing is they're throwing out the crazy exaggerated version of actually what they want. Defund police and anarchy and all this stuff in the streets, and people are like, that's crazy, who would want that? But then if they start slowly taking away the budget, there won't be police. If they start so slowly degrading law enforcement, there won't be law enforcement. So they're doing the same thing. They're just not throwing it all the way out there. They're negotiating on the chipping away. Right to bear arms is happening. Your freedoms with religion are happening. Think how many times that you've heard that Christians are wrong and bigots and all that. That's not true. But if they can make you believe that because they're going to throw it out there that you're terrible, you're a terrible human being, religion's terrible, and then they start chipping away at some of these religions such as Christianity. It's all a bigger plan to take away your freedoms. And you'll see that, because guess what? Gas costs too much. Cars cost way too much, so public transportation makes more sense. If it costs so much to travel, why don't you just take a few days and look, Saturday and Sundays, we'll practice only public transportation. Especially in the cities, there's no reason to have these vehicles. It's all a plan of chipping away at your rights to keep you in one place, under one finger, and knowing that they can control you. Give me your thoughts. Am I crazy? I might be wearing a tinfoil hat today. I don't know. Sometimes I think of these policies and I think, these policies are actually not good there to help me. They're actually there to harm me. And they're actually taking away my rights. I say this all the time. We elect people to then go make more law for us to follow. Help me understand that. We elect people who actually sell out to bigger agendas to then make policy and law that actually regulates us to make us lose freedom more. Don't make sense. Let me know your thoughts. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.